Hey, good morning, everybody, or good afternoon, everybody. James Hake with Jen King, and we're here for the first episode of I Must Ask You a Question of 2022. How you doing, Jen? Happy New Year.
Oh, Happy New Year. I love how it is exactly the right amount of time for me to share it all the socials. And then I
Yes.
look up, it's time to
And
go.
nice. Where are you at? You're in a different spot than you usually are.
Oh, this is Shay King up at the house.
Oh, nice. So did you just not go in today or?
No, we've got because of the up ramp and Omicron, we've
Mhm.
got rotating staff. So we're
Okay.
never working together. So we always have a well staff that can go in. No, it's weird, but the times are the way they are. So
Yeah, I just
the
got
last 2
news.
days I've been working from here.
I might be sleeping at HQ. My wife just tested positive and she's triple vaccinated. And yeah, we've already kind of stayed away from each other when she was feeling a little ill, but I tested negative, and yeah, it looks like I'm going to be spending the night here, which is
Yep.
kind of exciting. So, for those of you watching, one thing that we've done since last time we've talked, Jen, is really go full born on Whatnot, that new app. So don't be surprised if I do a 3 a.m. James Can't Sleep pop-up sale in the middle.
Ooh, my favorite.
Yes. It's been so amazing. I know you do it as well, but that's what I've been doing. I have like this load of boxes of my books, Solar Flare and the Mall title boxes, where I was like, hey, do you want me to sign it? And they're like, yeah, sign it. And boy, I bit off a little bit more. More than I can chew. I'm here signing everything. But again, it's so awesome. It's a great platform to interact with your fans. I call it reminds me of a really good convention, right? Where you have a captive
Yeah.
audience and you can pitch these incredible books that we have. So yesterday was Title Box Tuesday, where we do that, that mystery box but you get a full
Yep.
story arc or full set of the books. And it's just great because there's so many good titles that we weren't, just because they were released earlier, Scout didn't have the traction that we have now. So it's a great way of reintroducing these books to a new audience, and it's been just working absolute wonders. You want to know a little
I feel like
secret?
Whatnot is also kind of cool because I don't know that they're the exact same people that are
Yes.
shopping on Facebook Live or YouTube Live or eBay or Shopify or this place. I think there might be new people that are like,
Yeah,
oh,
I think
crap,
I
like,
agree. And then apparently, I don't know if you've talked to the one of the heads. His name is Chancellor, and he was like, this is like a month or two ago. They said they're growing, by like 1,000+ new users a day, and they've added all types of new, new like items like vinyl. They sell vinyl now. They have vinyl channel, vintage clothes, posters, action figures. It's very, very cool. I'm a big fan. And
do you know
again,
their history? How they started?
yeah, a Funko Pop, right? It's just,
Pops.
yeah, they were tired of getting taken advantage of by, the live auctions like CBSN. Apparently, it was rampant, like scam artists in that
Oh, the
community.
people that were not in a controlled environment thing that
Yeah,
was vetted. Yeah, that's bad.
yeah,
When
and it
you
was
have the
just totally.
non-vetted people.
And then what did they do? I guess a lot of them were smart engineers and they developed this app. You know what the second one is? You know what the second product that they launched on it?
It was something weird, wasn't it?
Yeah, very weird. Where I was like, really? That's
I,
cool, but weird.
oh, I can't remember. What was it?
Soda.
Of course.
Soda. I was like, wow. Yeah, and then they added trading cards at the beginning of last year, and then around I think April, Mayish, they added comics, and I believe that's their number one platform right now. Every one that they've released became the top hit, but I still think
Yeah,
comics rule.
of course they
And
do.
I think, yeah, of course. And I think they're going to continue to rule. But you want to know a little thing because I'm signing this book. So you know how Third Wave came out, right?
Yeah.
This is Solar Flare season 2, and I just signed it
Mhm.
for one of the Whatnot people. And this character right here, her dad is Matt Hurley, the guy who's in Third Wave 99,
Okay,
the
so
main
that's
kid in
her
the
first
couple.
appearance then.
That's her first appearance, yeah. But that's how I connect. Like all my books, I think I've told you off channel kind of how everything works with my stories. It's like I'm a big fan of Fargo, the TV show, and Stephen King, obviously, where all of my stories are connected. So people who do follow my writing, I they'll figure it out in the end. But that's a
Mhm.
little spoiler, but not quite a spoiler.
So you just pick one character and bring them across, like the priest
Yeah.
for Killing the Corn, that kind of stuff?
And by the way, it wasn't planned initially. it kind of just happened where you're like, you know what, this is kind of cool. So if you read my stuff, try to figure out how the mall, Solar Flare, Long Live Pro Wrestling, and Third Wave are all linked in a little bit different ways, subtle ways. But
Ooh.
yeah, it's been wild. We ended our first tracker Kickstarter. I don't know if you saw that, but we raised nearly $70,000 for 4 action figures, which are
Yep,
the
I'm
3 and 3
totally
quarter.
in.
Yeah, it's wild. We're real excited about that. We're prepped down here to handle fulfillment and just waiting for the next steps. But that's going to be, I mean, there's all types of stuff in 2022 that I'm excited about. How about you? Do you guys have any plans? I know Omnicron throws things for a loop.
Mhm.
Yes, Joey, corset is great. And I saw a couple people, Jen,
Yeah.
yeah, Happy New Year. And yeah, someone mentioned about Dark Hungry. That's awesome. Jury is the creator of Corset, an upcoming book that we have with Black Caravan called Vanity, all the
Mhm.
way from Hungary. Crazy. But someone mentioned our damage boxes. We have these things called battle damage where you get 25 like damage books and there's like a little clever letter. We did a writing contest. All for $20. We do a really low
Mhm.
cost. It's a great starter pack. Again, they are damaged, but it's a good starter for fans of Scout. We offer those on the Whatnot show, and they've been going over really well. So
Mhm.
we're trying to start 2022 off with a bang, but yeah, all those outside forces are kind of killing it. They're trying to, at least.
I love that you're doing the battle damage thing because it helps like people like my staff where so in comic books oftentimes there are comics that are considered returnable, and in the
Yep.
past they've wanted them to have strip covers taken off, which means they're no longer really readable by
Yeah.
anyone that's very serious about reading because there's no title on it. So this saves the comic books, which I mean right now it's even more important, right, with a paper shortage, that we don't
Yeah.
just throw away a bunch of paper. It gets them in the hands of people that want to read. And so it's not a perfect copy. So they read the book and they're like, "Hey, this is my jam. I'm going to go find a perfect copy." Then
Yeah. And you should see some of them. And that's, I think we've talked about it on the show before, where it just saddens me being a diehard comic fan and collector. Being on this end in the publishing, the amount of damaged books that we have is just so incredibly sad. And obviously,
mhm.
the printer doesn't want to bring it damaged, but I mean, we're literally turning. That's become my phrase. I didn't realize it. I was talking to Joe Schmalke this morning. I was like, dude, my phrase is turning lemons into lemonade. I say that a lot, but
Yep.
that's exactly what we've done with this. Like this, we gave this out. We have like spin the wheel, but this is a super rare
Yeah, it
VHS
is.
variant of Draco, and it's just damaged down here. You can't sell that, but this is a great story.
Mhm.
So hopefully we're gonna make a new fan. And that's, to kind of close with Whatnot, like I think it's happened. We've done 6 shows now, and it's happened on at least 2 of them. One was last night where we created a new fan. They came in asking for Walking Dead, right? And I just happened to have Zinneber up. And I was like, he's like, "Do you have Walking Dead? I'm a big fan." And I was like, "No, we're actually a comic publisher. And if you're fans of Walking Dead," I was like, "you're gonna love this book because
Yep.
replace zombies and add dragons." And then I do my full pitch, where Zinneber, by the way, for those of you listening, Zinneber, it's a great series. It was an OG, an old school original
Mhm.
gangster of Scout, but it's by Ralph Singh, who's a German cartoonist. I mean, he's amazing. And
Mhm.
the concept is basically dragons are real and they've taken over Earth. And there's 2 societies. There's one who are trying to fight the dragons, and the other who worships them like a cult. They like sacrifice. And it's just this amazing post-apocalyptic. You remember that movie Reign of Fire?
Oh yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's what that movie should have been instead of just being dark underground. It's a really good series. Again, it's going to be an ongoing. So I know they did the first 7 in a one shot, and Ralph and his team are working on volume 2. Actually, it's a great thing to maybe reach out and ask them how far they're coming along. But the guy ended up buying a box, and then he bought
See?
Solar Flare, and then he bought more.
Yeah.
Like it was just like we made a new fan. And he
You
bought
know
some of the
what's
best
funny?
Midnight Sky. What was that?
I was this many days old before I realized it's not Zinnober.
Oh, would you think it was?
I mean, I pronounce it Zinnober, so I know it's wrong now.
Oh, I don't know if I'm right either. So I'm gonna be full disclosure.
Potato and
Rumor
potato.
has it. Do you know what it means in German?
Oh
Ralph
no, I
says,
didn't.
if you guys have heard Ralph say it, it sounds freaking awesome because with his
Oh, it's so
accent,
great.
it's so awesome. Zenoba.
Zinnober. Yes.
Zinnober.
Oh, it's
Yes.
great. So I could be wrong here too. I've been known to make things up that sound believable. Pretty sure Zinnober, Ralph told me that it means cinnamon in German.
Oh.
I think that's a simple Google search, which I'm going to do right now. Zinnober.
I agree.
Zinnober. What did Jennifer say as I'm Googling?
Dragons are real. They're dinosaurs.
Yes. But what does it mean? It means fuss. All right. I was way off.
Hmm.
Yes. I thought it meant cinnamon. Like they named the dragon Cinnamon, which I thought was hysterical. Oh, listen here. Oh, darn it. I thought it was one of those Google things. Did you guys hear that?
Yeah.
That's how you say
To hire her.
it.
That's exactly how he says it too. I had the chance to speak to him. He says it exactly that way to you. Zinnober.
It's such a good series. But yeah, that's what I love. It's just a captive audience, and it just reminds me of a very good show. And the amount of revenue we've generated on the publishing side has been just, I mean, thank the Lord, right? Because eventually that's going to hit us as a publisher, and as president, it's my job to try to create as many revenue streams as possible. So when you don't have paper or there's a paper shortage and it's limited availability and books are late, and it prevents you from releasing new things, at least as frequent as you would like that to, them to come out, you have to figure out new ways to generate revenue. And this is it's been a great way so far. And we have a lot of clever people that work with Scout, and we have a lot of cool shows that we have planned, and we have a spin the wheel, get a deal kind of deal that we do.
Oh no.
Yes. We've been doing all kinds of funny stuff. I mean, we might do a themed one where we all dress up in 80s costumes. Another one is we're going to make fun of QVC and basically you dress up as like I don't even want to reveal it, but we have some really cool things planned with just entertaining the masses is our goal. But how often do you do shows? You do them like once a week? I'm talking about on Whatnot, because you do so many awesome platforms. The Experience, which we're on right now, Comic Book Shopping Network. You do it on your regular Facebook, I think Instagram as well. What else? What other platforms do you use with those live sales?
So we've just started in the last couple of months with Whatnot. It was so weird. We started really early with them. We talked to the big bosses about getting on, because in the early days you couldn't go live unless you applied, and
you still have to.
We could wait. But I'm just going to call them and be like, hey, we know what we're doing, and you want us on your platform because you want people that make you look good. So we will.
Yep.
So the problem was when we first started to go on, there was some weird glitch that it would show us our screen. It would say go live, and then it would not allow us to. So it took us a while to figure out what was going on. But Jenna goes on and does live shows there on Wednesdays. And she's trying to add more. And eventually we'll figure out what days of the week are the right days and what themes to do and those kinds of things. But she's so great at it. We've actually been doing our shows differently, I think, than anybody else does. We do ours as walk around shows. So we allow the audience to say what they're hunting for, and we just go to where that is in our store and show what's in that box. And then we then for sure 100% have what people want during the live show.
So with that, is it just Jenna? Like, we have a team of 3 people. We figured out so far that if you have 3 people, it kind of works the best, because if someone wants something, you can have that one person while we're talking input it. Does she work with just alone, or does she have multiple people?
It's either her alone, or she has Bean sometimes to come and help.
Really?
Because then Bean can go pull stuff that people are asking for if she's not currently, if she's statically at somewhere that someone else has asked for, then Bean can go find the next thing and or put it in the piles and that kind of stuff. But somehow she's figured out how to just type it on her phone as she's going.
Great. I have banana hands, so and until they fix it where you can do it online, meaning on a laptop or tablet,
sure,
it's very difficult with my banana hands to do it while we're talking.
Hashtag banana hands.
Banana hands. I totally stole that, by the way, from that movie Shallow Hal. I don't know if you ever saw that.
I have, but I didn't know that was what it was from.
Yeah, it was when he met Anthony Robbins for the first time. And it was like right when he gave him the thing, he put his big, gigantic mitts on his head. And he's like, whoa, banana hands. And I just kind of kept it ever since. But no, it's such a great thing. Interacting with the fans, which I'm sure is one of the big reasons why it's been so successful for you. If you don't mind me asking, like, what would you say your percentage of sales are for the live shows all together, the aggregate overall sales?
Oh gosh. It keeps tracking up, of course, because we keep adding shows.
Yeah.
So it's hard to say. I know that for a long time, our goal was to have our live sales exceed our eBay sales, which is difficult
Mhm.
because they're pretty high. And they've started to overtake eBay, which makes them. They still have a way to go before they meet the store sales. They're not. It would be really hard to get there because the
So
store
those
sales.
are your main revenue streams. You have the store, you have eBay, you have live auctions. Is there any other revenue streams that I'm missing?
Shopify, but I think we just roll that into our eBay
Okay.
numbers because we track everything separately. We
Yeah, we
actually
do
have
too.
our POS has tabs for like Discover, Visa, checks, and all that stuff. We never use those other tabs. We know if we rung them up as those, that it means that it was sold a specific
On
way.
that certain channel. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we just did. We just inventoried our entire thing, the staff here, our entire warehouse. We have our regular and then our overflow. And I helped create this spreadsheet that tracks all of our revenue streams, which are, I mean, we keep adding them, right? It's amazing. We have Lunar, we have Diamond, we have Universal, which is the Canadian distribution. We have Simon and Schuster. We have direct to retail. We have what I do is a separate one for store variants, where a store or website wants to do their own cover. I keep that separately and consider that a revenue stream. We have digital now, where I lump all the digital. I think we're on 2 years ago, we were on zero. Zero platforms for digital. Right now we're on 6.
Okay, so answer me this then.
Mhm.
Do you include your comic tags as digital?
No, they are
Okay.
separate.
Okay.
They are physical, because really, as far as, because Comic Tags is technically a separate company. So when it's sold through Comic Tags, like it basically, as the store or as the publisher, it's a separate deal. It's like Scout Comics is done after they sell it. It's Comic Tags' job to fulfill it and make sure the customer's happy, to tell you the truth. And it's the same thing. So yeah, we track that. I mean, those get lumped in because we sold them to direct to retail. We sell they're on Lunar and Universal. We're talking about getting them on Diamond. Still waiting on contracts, Jen, but we're supposed to be on Diamond. We were supposed to start the year on FOC, finally on Diamond, but yes, we're
Lovely.
still. I guess that malware attack that happened to them.
They're still recovering.
Yeah, and they haven't. I guess they haven't been able to find the boilerplates to give us, and we're waiting on 2 months now. But I think that's going to be helpful tremendously to get on FOC there with Diamond, because it really helped when we were on FOC with Lunar. What other platforms? Conventions. We have a convention thing, and now we have the showroom, and then whatnot. So it's like all these revenue streams are being created, and yeah, it's been awesome. I'm anxious to see what the next one's going to be.
You know, the ones that are missing from us that I wish would come back
Mhm.
is, for a long time, we're talking 3 years ago was the last one we got to go to. There used to be a bunch of things we could do with schools. Like they would have end of the year fundraisers where we could go set up and help give them a percentage of the sales. There were book shows, like when they bring all the high school
book fairs kind of thing.
Book fair. Yeah, the book fairs are all gone away. There's a lot of those kinds of interactions we used to have with teens and other school age kiddos that helped us kind of like teach them what comics were and graphic novels were and manga and all that stuff, and get them pointed in the right things. We just don't have those right now, and it hurts my heart. We only get to see those guys when they come in, so I want that to change again.
Yeah, it's kind of like conventions too. I know they came back, but the attendance and just the turnout, it's not the same as it was. I don't know if that's going to be a permanent shift. I mean, even if we get over this, because I mean, the live auction is really kind of taken that. Like, people love being there. I talked to one of our really good partners, Comic Tom, and he was telling me about how, like, he did Emerald City Comic Con, which is typically a top 3 show, especially for a publisher or a creator, because there's lots of disposable income out in the Seattle area, lots of big revenue, and they love comics. So, I would have people like, for example, Walter, a good friend of mine who does Metal Shark Bro. He's the artist, and he also did Shiver Bureau. And he self-published these beautiful graphic novels, hardcovers of Shiver Bureau. And I remember one year he brought like 200 and he was sold out by Saturday. It's a 4-day show.
Whew.
And that's common, is literally people selling out. But this year it wasn't. I mean, it was a different time of year. It's in December when it's usually in March.
Right.
And didn't do well. He went live on Whatnot and it made his show for like 45 minutes by just walking around where people felt like they were at the show. So I just love creativity from an entrepreneur standpoint. I mean, people like yourself, when you shut down, there was no distribution. You guys started, that was the rise of the live show. Marco, ladies and gentlemen, he's just such a talented, speaking of talented creators, Marco has got King Jira that's coming out from us. Is basically an adorable Godzilla-like creator who's hunting for his pizza, and the detail of his art is incredible. And he's also has a series called Pentagram of Horror, which is coming out from Black Caravan, coming spring, I want to say. I guess it really all depends on the paper, but I think we got that settled. But again, he's all the way from Italy. Good to see you, buddy. Thanks for joining us.
I love it. By the way, just a quick, if you're on the show for the very first time, please mash that subscribe button so you get notification for it coming on every week. Easy way to do it.
And we try to be live every week, 1:30 Eastern, 12:30 Central. And was that 10:30 Pacific time? Yeah. But yeah, all right. Well, I have to run here in a second because I'm gonna have back-to-back Zooms all the way until 6:00 tonight, starting now.
Oh wow.
Yes. But yeah, let's start the year with a question. Do you have a question handy? Do you know something that you?
Okay, so Scout Comics has been around long enough to have probably had some kind of either holiday or New Year's like tradition that you guys do as a business with your employees. What did you guys do, or what would you typically do if you didn't have any restrictions?
If we didn't have any restrictions, I want to make it a holiday event about 2 miles from this office. There is an axe throwing whiskey bar.
That's not the match.
That's what I want to do. We were going to do it this year, but there was too many kids because a lot of the staff has kids. So it's not necessarily the greatest place to take a kid is a whiskey axe throwing bar. Food is delightful. Yeah. But really we had a party this in here where their families came, and we had I catered the event. Really, I would say our goal before the pandemic, there was a convention in Bradenton, which is like an hour and a half away. It's really close to CGC in Sarasota. And I want to eventually partner with a convention where we have like a Scout convention where all the creators come, and we would do it once a year and get together and do
Image Expo. I missed that thing too. That was awesome.
That would be that is a goal to eventually do that, to do a convention where you have all the Scout creators or whoever can make it down. And then I envision going out to dinner, with everybody and just kind of doing like a state of the union and thanking all the amazing creators. So that'll happen again someday, knock on wood.
Oh yeah.
But no, good question. How about you? What's your guys' tradition other than Free Comic Book Day? I mean, you told me about your costume contest that you guys do.
Oh yeah. So during the holidays, not this last year or this year, we just couldn't figure out a safe way to do it. We usually get together, all of our families, all of our current, past, future, whatever employees. We invite them for a big potluck. And so we just bring, I always provide all the big meat, and then people bring whatever their specialty is that they cook at their house.
Nice.
And then we have a big white elephant, which there is a present that has been being given over and over and over again as the booby prize. It isn't a bad prize, honestly. It's one of those big kind of like urns on a stand that you would put like lemonade or whatever in it.
Yeah.
And people just stash all kinds of it gets added to every year for what the extra stuff is in it. But for some reason, no one wants it. So you have to, if it's yours, like you're bringing it back the next year, you have to disguise it as you don't bring that box, you bring a different box, but you bring a picture of it and put it in the box. So we love doing that. And then I usually bring crafts for the kids to do. And then it's usually something that is a group project. Like we've done popsicle stick people before, that they were supposed to draw themselves on a popsicle stick. And then we put them all on a big board that had like a house in it. So it was like all of the store family was all together. So we do that kind of fun stuff. I miss those things so much because
Oh,
you get to
that's
see
awesome.
everyone's family and hug on them and tell them thank you for loaning us your family member for many hours of the day.
And see, that's exactly why your shop has been around for so long. And yeah, it's building that community. We're trying to do the same thing with the staff here. Again, they are awesome. Everybody, at least that I know of, gets along famously. And yeah, it's awesome. But I have to run. Thank you everybody for joining us. Again, this is I Must Ask You a Question in the first episode of 2022. And Happy New Year, everyone. We'll see you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Again, Jen, we'll talk. Oh, real quick, just so everybody can know our business. Did you get those third waves in?
Yes, thank you.
Yes. So you got the glows too, right? The glow in the dark covers that were running late. Apparently they saved them for some reason. That was what was for some waiting to put them together. I don't understand, but great, you got them.
They put a paper over the outside of it to protect it.
Yeah, with the glows, it's great.
Mhm.
And it actually works. Meaning not only does it work where it glows in the dark, but the paper does really protect it from scratching. That's great. Well, awesome. Again, thanks everybody. We'll see you next week.